Alright. Play Bruh as our tracker. And blah, 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 blah. I don't know what's going on Arcanox's side, but that seems questionable. Okay. Oh, now it's back to normal. Sorry about that. Once again, I am joined by Bruh on tracking. Love that for us. Always appreciate having a tracker there. Do the hard stuff. And we are going to get going fairly soon. Yep, we are in permanent setup mode on Arcanox's side. Probably not going to see that one. Not sure what's happening. Okay, it looks like Arcanox's timer is just messed up, so unfortunate. But, let's get to it. And missile starting off, pretty standard. And boost ball in landing site, very interesting. Definitely, it's not something that's like super vital, but you definitely want to have it as soon as possible. So, good to see how the racers route that back in. Yeah, I think. I think Arcanox is a little newer to the scene. This is their first prime tournament, as far as I could tell, from looking at their race time, or not race time, but the launch page. On the other hand, Salad has been community for a long time and has participated in every prime tournament, usually doing pretty respectably. Never making top 8, but never finishing with a losing record either. So, expecting a solid performance from her today. And we're getting artifacts. Oh boy, OP, very good. Off to a solid start. Main quarry. MQB, okay, well you gotta go there anyway, but now you need supers too. Very good. Shorelines. That's not gonna be a huge deal, we already know we need supers. Training chamber, oh man, what a selection of artifacts for us today. And burn dome, void required too. Wow, what a selection. What a selection of artifacts for us today. Yesterday I commentated one of the most straightforward seeds ever. So I guess this is a payback. No PMT artifact. But yeah, that is quite a selection. Let's pause the brakes. The artifacts are bad, but that doesn't mean the seed is bad. Like we could find supers like immediately, and then the seed is basically solved. So not impossible. All right. Looked like an E tank on grapple edge. Yeah, training chamber is training chamber you usually don't see as important. I couldn't get a good look at what was in the half pipe there. It did not look like a missile, and it did not look like an E-tank, so... Was that SJ? I'll take your word for it, Baja. I trust you. Oh, it looks like I'm joined by Caliber. Welcome in. And that was Plasma in Ruin Nursery, so, Jesus. Off to a good start. Wave Beam?
Artifacts.
Well, oh, what a selection of artifacts we have for you today. We have, OP, Main Quarry, MQB, Shorelines, Training Chamber, and Burn Dome. So, yeah, we are in for it on this one. And we already have, yeah, so we already have Wave for, most of our players. Plasma is in Ruin Nursery. Boost Ball is in Landing Site. So we have a lot of information already. And there's our Morph
Very
Ball.
nice. Very nice.
Now this is kind of an interesting one, because like you know where Plasma is in Nursery. All you need is Bomb. Kind of an interesting one. You could stay in Chozo, try and find bombs somewhere. You know at least one half of Zoid is dead. But yeah, you could either stay in Chozo, hope to find bombs, or you could head back and get that boost ball immediately. I think that's an interesting decision. So, how'd your race go, Caliber?
Oh, I survived it. Horrible final bosses, but well, other than Ridley. Ridley was fine, but very bad
Alright.
Exo and Essence. But I survived it.
Alright,
So.
well, GG's. Yeah. And it looks like Salad did decide to go for that immediate boost ball. That's a flamethrower in... I didn't see that earlier. Flamethrower in, I can't brain right now. Shrine, Rune Shrine. What is wrong with me?
They'll have a chance to get it when they go back. If they go back.
Yeah.
Unless Flamethrower scares them off permanently.
Yeah, they do have Wave, so they're probably gonna make a trip back to, oh, yeah, and I did, if that is SJ in the half pipe, like Baja said, that's why, yeah, getting the boost ball immediately made more sense. Yeah, in that sense, I think, yeah, getting the boost ball is the right call. But yeah, with the presumably soon to get Space Jump and Wave Beam, I think they can easily make the play for Tower of Light, and that would be a chance to get Flamethrower. But if they don't, then that's probably GG.
Well, that'll decide the race.
Nothing in Transport Tunnel B. Yep, and that was, in fact, Space Jump.
Space Jump and Boost this early is definitely very nice.
Yeah, absolutely. It does
That
give
just about opens up most of Chozo.
Yeah, it gives them a lot of options. It looks like they're heading in the direction of Tower of Light. I would not punish for the TTB skip. And let's see. Go for it. Yeah, there we go. So,
I feel like they had to at that point.
So shoutouts to AMaliciousSalad for that.
Looks like Arcanox not wanting to do the dash to get the frickin' crash site item.
It didn't. I thought it was an E-tank, so that's an interesting that they're trying to go for it because I mean, yeah, having an E-tank really is nice, but I'm not sure that I would try and do this without take too much time trying to do this without SJ, especially since I'm pretty sure there was an E-tank on Grapple Edge. So, and same as yesterday, bombs in Tower Chamber, fascinating.
So, forget with these settings, is Tower of Light in logic with just space jump and wave?
These settings, I don't think so. I think the first dash is. I don't think it's beginner. I could be wrong about that, but and I'm not sure in logic anyway.
Well, if it's not in logic, then that means Spider Ball is coming up soon, which is very interesting. Very looking like it's gonna be a very front-loaded seed so far.
Absolutely. Yeah, I usually like to go. I usually do a standable for the first jump and then dash for the second two because the first dash is the worst. But the fact that Salad got that pretty quickly was really good. Been a pretty straightforward seed so far. I'd say no real huge opportunity for route divergence. I think knowing that Space Jump was in the half pipe, getting the boost early was the obvious choice. Really just a little bit of minor divergences. And oh, that's main power bombs in the tree. Interesting. And I'm not sure Arcanox realizes that they can very obviously tell from the aura because they were it looked like they were trying to do the peak, or maybe they were just having trouble getting up on the higher part to get up there. Also, not going. Did Arcanox not see plasma? Oh, they don't have bombs. They did not head to Tower Chamber, so they're going for mid Chozo first, which is interesting.
Looks like I spotted maybe a visor in Ruined Fountain.
I did not get a glance at that, so I'll take your word for that.
It looked like X-ray, but I also didn't
That's
get a
yeah,
clear
that's
look at
X-ray.
it.
That's huge. Yeah, because yeah, now you know you don't have to go looking for it in order to fight OP. You just need to go looking for Spider. But Spider can be in a lot. Doesn't have as many places it could be, so.
Looks like we have a nice high five coming up.
Mm-hmm. Arcanox just a slight bit ahead in doing the scans, so. At some point they're gonna overlap. this has some interesting potential because Salad has bombs, is able to going to be able to find out what lower dynamo is. Just a missile, nothing important. But Salad's also going to be able to do Zoid right now if they choose. We know that's an artifact back there, so it's like you've got bombs. You might as well check it. You know.
I wonder if Arcanox is gonna head towards Tower of Light as well. I wonder if they anticipate anything being there.
At this point, I would guess that's where they would be heading. Is there? Yeah. Oh God! Careful, Salad. I think
Well,
it was
at least
just
it was
a.
here and not in Magmore.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was interesting to me that they went for. They seem to be going for that missile expansion in. Why can't I remember the names of things today? My brain is not working. Watery Hall. Sorry, my brain is just the circuits aren't working. It looked like it was just a missile behind the acid, so it was interesting to me that they were going for that, or she was going for that.
Probably just loading up on missiles while they're all here, so later if searching for Phazon, you can just kind of blow through checks, not have to like, not be looking for Phazon and only have 40 missiles.
Mm-hmm.
At least that would be my thought process behind it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that too. A lot of missiles in Chozo are not out of the way, so you might as well just grab them.
Right. Now the big question: is Zoid itself going to have anything important? We got our artifact, so. Interesting map from Arcanox. I'm not sure what they were trying to say there, but
Probably just looking and figuring out a route and what they're gonna get.
yeah, could be.
I personally often do that. Open up the map and make a mini route through whatever area I'm in.
Hmm. We don't have Varia yet, so, and we don't have ice, so yeah, options are kind of limited here.
Seems Arcanox does not want to go for the power bomb expansion at the top of Tower of Light.
Did they peek it? I was on the other
Yeah,
screen.
they shot down the first level to look at the item, and
Interesting. I
must not
would.
know the dashes maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe. Yeah, if you're not comfortable with the dashes, then I can understand that because it is a pain if you fall down. And yeah,
Metroid Prime is known for very forgiving vertical rooms.
yeah. And Salad actually going a bit further here. This is interesting to me. They can technically check at least as far as Antechamber, if they wanted.
They might be
Looks like
checking
an E-tank.
crossways so they know if they have to. So I mean, they can get it right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or
no, looks like
what?
not.
Okay.
Personally, I prefer checking crossway because I'm already there. But
Yeah, if I was gonna go
usually
this
there's just a
far, I would.
missile. Yeah.
Yeah, if I was gonna go this far, I would go all the way. But no.
At this point, I don't think I would go towards deep until late Chozo. I'd probably peek crossway and then leave because I would avoid going to late Chozo because outside of, I guess at this point, I think Elder Chamber is the room underneath the Hall of the Elders. There's not really anything you can do in late Chozo. You can check what's inside Antechamber, but you can't actually get it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, this is where it gets difficult for me because without Varia, you kind of figure it has to be somewhere around in Chozo, but you don't want to do plant either. So, or at least I don't want to do plant. I don't care how short they make the cutscenes.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it probably is going to end up being Quagra, or I guess perhaps maybe Ghost, but doing the early wild IBJ is, I assume, is not in logic. So, and they're
No.
lacking Spider Ball in supers, so likely not. But
Looks like I would presume she's gonna go at least as far as checking Antechamber. Ooh, going for the bomb jump. Or the
nice show of
one
skill
of the
instead of.
fighter on plant would be really interesting. Oh, that was. It looked like it was close.
I could see that being the case because something could be at the top of Dynamo also.
Yeah. I've tried not the not the way Salad is trying it, but I have done this like twice in my life.
They still want they're determined to get it clearly.
Oh.
Oh, they almost had that.
Yeah. I don't know how many more tries I would give this, but at some point I would just say, I've got wave, just use it.
Sometimes determination outweighs reason.
I hate that you can real talk from Baja. Oh gosh. Oh,
Yeah, either very determined or forgetting they have wave beam.
I don't think she's forgotten that, but yeah. She might just be feeling confident, in her like, abilities. She was fairly decently seated. Has a lot of experience. Arcanox a little newer. Um, so maybe she's just feeling like, okay,
There we
there we
go.
go.
Good job. Everyone clap for her.
This bomb jump only saves time. Yeah, that's true. But if you going for it, sometimes there's a sunk cost fallacy.
It looks cooler when you
Sometimes,
get it.
yeah, and sometimes, yeah, you just wanna be swag, and that's cool. Respect. Oh
Vanilla
my
Ice Beam.
god.
So yeah,
Oh
disregard what I said
my
earlier. I would have
god.
probably fallen very far behind if I was racing this
Okay,
seed
yeah, and
because
then and now it's
I do not like coming to late Chozo without Ice Beam, but there
yeah,
it
and
is.
now like all that time spent on that trick paid off. So yeah. And now the question is, how far is Arcanox gonna go? Are they gonna go as deep? Are they gonna think about the possibility of vanilla ice, or are they gonna head back for plant? Because at this point, those are your only options.
Yeah, like personally, I would probably have headed back to Flagra, but clearly
Yeah.
late Chozo is the play
What
here.
very I didn't gen this, so shout outs to whoever gen this. Very good stuff.
It's very true. Get Life Crow with the Power Bomb expansion from Tower of Light.
hmm This is gonna end up being really good for Salad. At this point now, we're just looking for Spider and supers. Oh, tried it. Yeah, that is a challenging trick right there. Okay, and Wave Buster, why not? You know? That'd be interesting. I'm not sure if Salad got a good enough view of the tree to realize that that was main power bombs there. So depending on when they get supers, that might be something worth heading out for, because otherwise you're just relying on expansions the entire game. And that might work in Echoes, but it's not going to work in Prime. And it looks like she's heading back to Chozo. This is interesting, because I could see the argument for if you know, feel comfortable with bar skip. And I would assume Salad does, with her level of experience, for taking the dive into at least upper mines. You know, there's...
I
Oh,
could see that too. Just I don't think anything's pointing towards mines right now. I feel like going through. I think going back is probably the better play since one. I don't. There's no. You don't have. I don't bar skip. I assume isn't in logic with these settings, and then also
yeah.
at the same time, um. Oh, where was I going with that? I am also losing my train of thought. I'm gonna be quiet now.
uh, like a little bit of indecision. There's not really a whole lot that she can do in the other direction. Like, yes, you could get Overgrown, one check, but then not really gonna do Frigate, and you're still short Varia for Magmore. So yeah.
Did she grab overgrown cavern item?
No, she did not.
A good route there probably would have been to grab overgrown cavern because that's in logic, and then loop back around to Chozo because I mean obviously that's the only place you can go right now with these items, or logically with these items.
I think you could check it certainly. I also think like not wanting to do the elevator up and down is somewhat reasonable. It's not like too far out of the way if you want to eventually get it. Oh, okay, it looks like she just wanted to check Elder Chamber and whatnot. Now it's heading back to Overgrown.
Oh yeah, that's a fair point. There was also the Hall of the Elders item that you could get now.
I don't super duper hate it, but oh, and yeah, now that I look back at Arcanox, Arcanox is doing plant, so we're gonna find out whether this is worth it. I can't imagine it's gonna take Salad too much longer to get the plant if you know, she doesn't find anything of interest in Overgrown. She also hasn't checked Transport Tunnel B, which we know was nothing, or she could also potentially go for Root Cave at this point.
And plant was nothing.
Interesting.
Oh,
And
there's
okay,
Varia.
there's yep. And I mean that's just further cementing Salad's lead.
Yeah, Varia would have been bad because that would have pointed them in a very different direction, likely. And yeah, I suppose with these items, skipping Flogger is probably the optimal decision for Salad.
Yeah, at this point, I would not even think about doing Flogger unless I was out of options. Still some big questions like Spider Ball, and we are eventually going to need supers, but Spider Ball is definitely the priority. Oh, and Cave strikes again. And she's going back up, try to go for it again.
Gotta love those vertical rooms.
I don't generally have a problem with vertical rooms, but Root Cave specifically is just a really, really bad experience.
Mine is Frozen Pike in Lake Fendrana. I hate that room with a passion because of the I think they're flicker bats.
Yeah, Frozen Pike has Flicker Bats, so yeah, you gotta be careful. I just generally take it safe when the Flicker Bat Slayer is on, so.
I do not play it safe, and it usually doesn't pay off.
You have the first 6 minutes. Well, good thing you're Baja Blood, so you can lose 3 minutes against most of your opponents. Oh, good. That's usually the optimal decision to go where the items are. Usually.
So it looks like Salad's going to be entering from the middle of Magmore, which is an interesting decision considering that well, I guess it depends on what route they're going for, but they'll have to visit
Yeah.
early Magmore and then backtrack. Even with the elevators, probably maybe it would have been a little more of a straight route if they went back to early Chozo and then went through the vault door to get to that elevator.
I mean, I think based on where they coming from Overgrown, I think this makes sense. Not that much of a difference in terms of time. It's just you're kind of hoping you get. I mean, you're kind of hoping you get Spider and Supers because we know there's an artifact in Shorelines, and if we prefer to be able to get that first time we're there, and it's kind of a coin flip.
Salad receiving the best beam, the only beam that you should ever need, grapple beam.
Oh, don't let Maricat hear that you say that.
I have a lot of trauma with gravity chamber specifically and the item up top, so I always grab grapple beam if I can.
Oh yeah, we've all taken a few dips in the water at some point in our lives.
Yeah, in the 2019 tournament, I spent 45 minutes trying to get an artifact at the top of gravity chamber after I couldn't find
Oh,
grapple beam.
yeah. That is tough.
I didn't have gravity suit either, so every time I failed, I had to do the fun underwater slope jumps to get out.
Yeah. Now, I do think this presents an interesting decision. It looks like she's going for Fendrana. I think you could have I think you could have potentially headed all the way to Lava Lake. Do those checks. Maybe just hoping that Shorelines is in the Shorelines artifact is in the ice. She won't have to come back here later. And I think that's reasonable.
It's a little bit of a gamble. I mean, might not be anything in early or in lava lake. But you also, if there is something there, she can always just warp to start and basically be right there.
Okay, now we
Yeah,
know where the
right now,
artifact is.
Vendrana is very open with having especially plasma.
Yeah. She could also go for the wall crawl, if she's familiar with it. I think it mostly just depends on, do you want to be thorough and, not leave anything behind or not. I tend to favor, leaving stuff behind, but obviously it's a decision every racer has to make.
Yeah, I usually just weigh how many items I already have. Like in this situation, it's a little tricky because I already have a lot of stuff, but obviously I'm missing Spider Ball and then also Phazon suit and super missiles
Yeah.
now. So it'd be a weighing of, you know, wanting to make sure that you don't leave any stone unturned, so you don't need to come
Yeah.
back.
I
If there was,
have to
if there was,
guess.
if she had less items, I would say be checking everything, obviously, but it's a little gray area with her current loadout.
Yeah. I was going to say, based on where our artifacts are, we already have to go both to upper and lower mines. So I would be wagering that I'd find Phazon probably in the course of just collecting artifacts. And if not, you know, I would guess that she's probably going to clear most of Fendrana unless she finds go mode. So I would, if she doesn't find Phazon suit before the rest of the artifacts, I would imagine it's probably going to be in a fairly accessible location based on the hint.
Yeah, well, labs and late fen, and then upper mines is probably where where she might have her eyes set on right now.
Yeah, the not having the knowing where X-ray is but not having it is definitely interesting. See how that figures into the routing. I think the big question for me right now is, if you full clear like most of the rest of Fen, do you do Thardis or do you just head for like upper mines or something like that? Now, I would personally, as a never do Thardis, die hard, would never do Thardis.
With power bombs and plasma beam, I would do Thardis just because Thardis is a little trivial at that point. Obviously, the concern is that there's no they haven't found thermal yet, so there's not really point. Well, thermal and supers, but they also have ice. So, but nothing's particularly pointing at Thardis right this second.
Yeah, I definitely would clear the rest of Fen before I even thought about that, but I think it would be in the back
Yeah,
of my
for
mind at
me,
least.
Thardis is usually the final check I do in Fen.
And it looks like Arcanox is just retracing Salad's steps. So if they make the decision to go for Lava Lake, that could be an interesting decision there. Salad has been really making some risky decisions there to try and speed through. And she's
Leaving.
yeah, interesting. Uh, what what is she cooking? you know, I'm perfectly willing to let her, you know, make this decision. But yeah, I would not have gone that far if I wasn't gonna clear labs. Like she might just be worried that something was in, you know, the earlier part of Magmore, or she
Yeah,
might
not
be.
warping the start is what I'm confused about right now. Because I think
Yeah, this is
at that point where she was warping the start and then going through Chozo to get to early Magmore, maybe would have been faster.
yeah, and it looks like Arcanox is heading
Unless
back.
she's, I guess she might be confident enough in her movement because I can see good movement being faster.
Okay, Arcanox didn't get the Warrior Shrine yet, so um, so that's why they are heading back. But maybe she thinks that, like, maybe she thinks she's thinking about that X-ray and thinking like Spider Ball has to be more accessible. Like, I guess I
Might
could
be
see that, but
reconsidering her skipping Flagra, maybe.
that could be. I still wouldn't. I wouldn't go. This is just feel. Yeah, this is a really strange decision to just go as far as the entrance to labs and then head back. It's like you have everything you
Did
need
they check?
to.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say you have everything you need to clear Andrana. So
Has Magma Pool been checked yet?
Magma Pool has not been checked.
Because I could see an argument for Magma Pool with Grapple Beam, especially,
I could see
and
that too.
obviously Training Chamber.
Yeah, I think I would wait until I had Spider, unless I was gonna do the wall crawl. Um, because it's like you want to do everything in that section at once. But Salad does have a PB for Magma Pool.
Oh, but that's an out of logic PB most likely. Is Tower of Light climb without missile or no? Without I know it'd be
I think
getting the Tower of Light
yeah,
without Spider Ball. I don't isn't that in
I think
logic?
I think that is in logic. I think getting there is in logic, but I'm not 100% sure.
If I didn't have a whole bunch of labs to check, I personally would be heading back to Magma Pool just to give it a check. But skipping out on labs is definitely an interesting decision. Or I guess
Yeah,
reversing
I
back
just
out.
like I don't hate this decision going back. What I don't like is that she literally went into labs. Just said no. That's what I don't like.
Yeah, this seems like it might be reconsidering having skipped Flagra, and I guess maybe wild ghosts too, and then also training chamber access.
Yeah, that's a good point, Baha. If I were gonna do this, I think I would have made a pivot save um in courtyard. So this is really huge risk, and unless Magma Pool or TCA has something, it's not gonna pay off. So this could potentially set Salad back really far. You have to imagine that if they're in Choser, they're gonna do Flogger at this point. That'll be gotta make a mental note of that so we can ask about that in the interview. Like, getting up to Ruin Courtyard without Spider is in logic, right? In these
I want
settings?
to say it is. I want to say it is.
Yeah, so if her thought was like, oh, I can't get up here without, even if it was, she has boost ball, so that's all you need for that to be in logic. So
Yeah, I was gonna say she has boost
that's in
ball on
logic. So
opposite
like
bombs.
Labs is in logic. Yeah, just very interesting. Yeah, just
So yeah, at this point, she might be thinking. I'm surprised she's not checking training chamber.
Well, we know training chamber's an artifact, so
Oh, right.
yeah, so that is just super interesting to me. Yeah, she's gonna do plant, I would assume. And Arcanox checking the artifacts for the first time. You're gonna finally get the bad news. Maybe she's thinking like she didn't want to do. Maybe she was thinking she didn't want to do Hydra without having supers, but there's still so much else. Like that's the only thing you can't get at this point. Fendrana.
I imagine most of this was spawned out of just regretting or reconsidering skipping Flagra.
I know, right, Baha? I gotta remember sometimes, like, no, this game does not have. He didn't mean to make this game as broken as it was. What you gotta do, you gotta replay Remastered again. Get a refresher on how to play this game vanilla. And Early Wild question mark?
I mean, I'd go for it just because I know the IBJ, but I don't think it's probably not really worth it because nothing's pointing towards. Yeah, she's skipping it because nothing's pointing towards wild ghosts right now.
Yeah,
And
that was
especially
just...
without supers and X-ray, it could be a potential big waste of time.
Yeah, and that was just a huge detour for just nothing. So yeah, I really just don't understand that one. Like, her movement is good enough that she's probably going to catch up to Arcanox at some point, assuming Arcanox does make the labs play. And does at least have a power bomb and grappling hook, so that's going to make things a little bit faster. But
Grappling hook. I didn't know we were playing a Zelda randomizer right now.
grappling hook. I almost did a swear there, but I didn't. I remembered. Yeah, grappling hook. Specifically Wind Waker randomizer, because yeah, that's the only grappling hook there is.
I guess we'll likely see from Arcanox what's in labs.
Yeah, and it looks like a little bit of indecision from Salad. Thinking, like, you think she must be thinking between. Unless this is some like weird strat that I don't know about, but
no, she's likely just considering something.
Yeah. like between back of Magmore and then do Phendrana, or go straight to Labs. And Arcanox is also heading back.
Or there's a technical issue. Maybe.
That could be it. Let's see if there's anything in the race time. Well, that was a big waste of time. Quote directly from Salad. But other than that, nothing. Okay, it looks like she's committing to, well, you know what? I'm just gonna wait until she's. I'm gonna wait until she's doing something. You know.
Looks
Wait
like
until
she
she's.
might be going back towards either somewhere in Talon or late Magmore, but obviously
I
probably
would
like
guess
the
she's
latter.
heading towards back of Magmore. There's nothing really left in Talon for her to check. Without, I mean, technically you could do Forget without gravity, but
You could, but you shouldn't.
yeah,
Never
you
should.
should. Yeah. Yeah, bruh. Yeah, Arcanox. Yeah, they're now both heading in the same direction, at least as far as it looks like. Arcanox gotta be careful with just 50 energy. Oh, that's. Oh my god. Ugh.
Oh, that's scary. I just noticed
Yeah,
that.
Yeah, you gotta do something now. You gotta do something. You can't go through that with just 2 energy.
Having only one suit still means your bones are made of glass in this game, unfortunately.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Just getting back to what Bro said, please do Phendrana, and I'm like same. Phendrana's not bad. Like I don't know why. Like you have Ice Beam. I don't know why you wouldn't want to do Phendrana. Ooh, careful. Okay, good. At least stuck the landing on the ledge. I think that was a nothing. Definitely wasn't important, but it was like very dark to me. Very dark, but not like
Arcanox is
phasing.
going for right now.
Maybe I I think they just wanted to ship save so they could get the energy back, but now that they're here, they're kind of like maybe there's something else I can do. Kind of
They're
a
either about to go for crash site climb or they're making the extremely risky decision to go to sunken frigate.
yeah. I think yeah, this might just be a because I don't think this was where they wanted to go originally. So I
Oh,
think this is
they're
maybe a
going in.
okay.
Nothing is pointing this way, so but I mean I guess
Yeah,
this could potentially pay off.
I mean it could pay off huge because Sala is not gonna make her way towards Frigate for a long time, I would imagine. If this is like if you just find Spider in Cargo Freight Lift, that could be huge. Or you could find Spider in that room, which I've forgotten the name of. So I mean you can save warp out, so it's not like a huge deal.
It's not a
But
huge deal, but
yeah.
well,
I mean if
guess
you
we'll
I
see.
mean at this point they're committed, so transport access. That sounds right. Can I brain today? But yeah, so that So I would guess Salad is gonna go towards gonna go grab X-Ray. And then it's just Super's Hunt. Maybe check Dynamo while they're in Chozo. Only thing I can think to do.
Checking Dynamo, maybe getting Training Chamber now.
Oh yeah, that's true. Training Chamber now with Spider Ball. So yeah, that's... Yeah, you're gonna pick up an artifact, you're gonna pick up X-Ray. And then the question is just, do you keep going through Chozo? Like, because you could technically head to Upper Mines right now.
I guess they said they don't need those those power bombs. Or well, actually, I forgot they don't have supers.
Yeah, she doesn't have supers right now, so... So probably not getting main power bombs ever, if I had to guess, because you're not coming back to Chozo for any reason at this point. Most likely. I mean, yeah, I think most of us would have absolutely stayed in Fen. But it is what it is, Still managed to work out. Or rather. Even after Spider. Let me start from the beginning. Stayed in Fen until Super shows up, until I got to... Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, I mean, she might be thinking that... I mean, at this point, like, where I'm standing right now, I would probably go through Chozo, check Dynamo, and then head to Upper Mines, and then you can just, clear Upper Mines, and then make your way back to Fendrana. Like, that's what I would be thinking at this point, if I were in this position, but I probably would have also... I mean, I wouldn't have left Labs. I think, we're all kind of in agreement there, but...
Looks like Arcanox is gonna check plasma processing.
Yeah. So at least checking Dynamo.
Having a little trouble with that slope jump there.
It can be more... Excuse me one moment.
It's a pretty finicky slope jump, unfortunately. The amount of slope you have to work with is not a lot.
Sorry about that. Like Missile Expansion and Dynamo. Looks like Arcanox must have fallen down. That is a really unfortunate place to fall down in. Okay, save warping out. So now Fendrana? Question mark.
Hopefully, internally, I am begging for them to just do labs. I mean, even upper minds might be something at this point.
I don't hate the upper minds play because it at least lets you through to Fendrana at the end. And looks like she's also gonna check Frigate. I wonder if that save in Choso was a pivot save. Just I feel like I could understand where Arcanox was coming from. You know, just because they had to go back to ship. They were like, well, I'm in talent anyway. I could definitely understand that, but
I'm definitely gonna make a note to ask in the interview why the aversion to labs.
yeah. But this both players making the checking cargo freight lift without gravity is really interesting to me. Oh, well, according to our tracker, Salad. Okay, I was gonna say according to our tracker for a second, Salad had pulled into the lead with twice as many artifacts from the seed. So, and she's actually gonna looks like do full forward frigate without gravity. And like this isn't the worst.
This actually might not be a bad play. She might be trying to get to upper minds, which, of course, not sure why.
Yeah,
Maybe it wouldn't just go through workstation elevator and reverse up, reverse up upper labs. But maybe she doesn't want to have to do the reversing process. Maybe
I mean
she's
she might
gonna
just
just maybe
yeah
she might just try and full clear minds, or well,
yeah
obviously try and find supers and clear minds.
yeah. I mean, I mean, that could be it. It might be just a percentage play thing. Like maybe she knows the numbers and she doesn't like back of Fendrana.
Oh, looks like gravity suit in. Oh, there's
Okay,
supers.
well there's supers, and yeah, okay, that's why you check labs. So I hope he makes it there eventually, but like that could end up being huge actually. Arcanox is just missing power bombs, but they could technically go back to Chozo now and get power bombs from the tree. Since they have super or not super. I mean, they do have supers, but they have Spider now too. Then yeah, this could be really interesting. Obviously, Salad could find Phazon if her plan is to do upper mines. She could find Phazon there. Um, but I mean, you're gonna have to check that anyway. Oh,
Yeah, there's a standable there.
really just a question of
But
routing. Did she check what was um in the place?
I did
Um,
not see because I was looking at Arcanox's screen.
I assume she checked it, but I didn't see her go into X-ray. Now, what would be... I mean, what would be really good for Arcanox would be for Phazon to be right here in Hydra. Because they have supers. Yes, here in Hydra, but in a few rooms. Like nothing up there.
At the top of observatory.
Yeah. And here's a fun time. It's Hydra access without gravity.
And there's thermal visor.
Thermal, okay. Interesting.
Looks like this might be a comeback. I'm not gonna get ahead of myself, but
Yeah. Possible. Obviously you don't strictly need thermal for anything, but it is helpful. And it does provide some interesting routing implications.
I could have used thermal on my raids. Essence would have been a lot nicer.
Oh, where did Arcanox get gravity suit? That must have been in labs. I missed that. Yeah, technically, yeah, they could do. Grav was Ether. Oh, so Ether had supers and gravity. Ether.
Yeah, labs was the play this seed. It looks like.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, obviously, sometimes you make decisions and they work out or they don't work out, but that decision to just get up to the edge of labs and then go back is just looking worse and worse.
Yeah, and it looks like Salad is not. Well, it looks like they don't have the intention of going back to labs anytime soon.
I mean, I hope that their plan or her plan is, check clear upper labs and then head to Fendrana, but it's still going to take a while to get there. Yeah, it looks like Arcanox is possibly heading towards the training chamber.
If Phazon's suit is in upper mines, and Salad has good movement, that this could work out for her.
Absolutely. I don't think this is decided, in anyone's favor yet.
Obviously, it would ideally she would find Phazon in upper mines. Go to Fendrana after doing upper mines, find supers.
Yeah.
And go towards the lower mines.
That's Phazon. So, well, we found it. Question is that going to lead her? Is that gonna?
Oh, SDA was Phazon?
Yep.
Same location as my seed. No, my seed was a artifact.
That's interesting. I mean, the one thing I'm thinking is that could lead Salad down further into mine. Basically just hoping that supers are on the way. And if that's the case, then that's probably going to be it. Looks like Arcanox is going for the dash. Something I've never been able to get in my life. But there is the standable in the lava. Let's back up and get out with gravity. think the only question for Arcanox is how comfortable are they doing lower mines without grapple? And we also have to route shorelines back in at some point. Because they did not actually. Yeah, I think they maybe save warped too soon. I think maybe they had spiders and super. Probably should have grabbed the shorelines artifact, unless they did grab it and I missed it. But I mean, yeah, I would think so, Baja. But sorry, not Baja, but bruh. I would think so, Baja, but. And that's also a good point for E-tanks. Lower mines if you're not like comfortable with that amount. Mhm. Yeah, okay. Arcanox did not grab X-ray before going into Magma Pool, which is interesting because it was right there. And since they'd already cleared Flagra, then you know you could just use the fountain through there. Maybe just really. I was gonna say, Arcanox. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. I hope they didn't miss what Rune Fountain was. I have a bad feeling they did not correctly register what Rune Fountain was.
Well, hopefully they remember before they try and make their minds trip.
Yeah. Well, your eyes can be as good as you want, but if you can't hit OP, then yeah. That is a timely E-tank for Salad. Definitely gonna be super. I mean, I think if Caesar gets done with Upper Mines and has Defendrana, I think that's probably a solidly say that that's a win for the for her. But if Arcanox did not see correctly where X-ray was, then I don't think they're ever gonna go back there. And hey, well, I was heading towards lower mines. Out the You can at least do OP, but they're gonna have to backtrack to find supers, and it's probably gonna take them a while to find supers. Yeah, it could just be forgot. Else, you might have thought it was a nothing. I think Salad did at some point see the main power bombs, or at least they saw the aura, or she saw the aura, and would have had enough information to figure it out. Yeah, it could just be simple forgetting, but the thing is, if they don't think that that's X-ray, or if they think that it's not X-ray, then they are gonna go on the X-ray hunt and probably never find it. Door cannot be opened with that weapon.
It's like Arcanox is warping back to start. Maybe maybe they remembered.
Maybe that's the only thing I can think of. I mean, that could be it. They could also. No, looks like they're heading for Frigate, maybe?
Like, yeah, maybe they want to finish out 2 checks at Frigate and maybe enter mines themselves.
Yeah, it looks like they're heading for Frigate. Yeah, I know Arcanox is newer to Prime. I would hope that they are aware that they actually do need X-ray to fight OP. Good movement from Salad, getting out of there without getting grabbed by a Metroid. Nice dash, very clean.
Troopers a little bit.
A little bit. Does that guy have a name?
The wave pirate at the top of the
Yeah.
top of the QB? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I guess they're going for trooper skip even though they don't have any more power bombs for a 1 cycle.
I mean, she can still 1 cycle with plasma, if she gets the timing right, and it looks like successful trooper skip. But I remember correctly, it's 2 uncharged plasma and then a charge. Then the rest of it is just charged. It looks like she did not go for the uncharged shots. Wave Pirate Heim on a first team basis. Yeah, I think just not quantuming the 1 cycle. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I personally don't go for that just because it's pretty risky.
I mean, I think it was reasonable, like, to use her last power bomb there, but just, you know, because you can still get the 1 cycle. Now it makes this, you know, obviously really obnoxious. Well, if that's true, I mean, if they make their way immediately to X-ray now, then they have a chance, but it's gonna be pretty tight. Fortunate that Salad went for lower mines, but at this point there's nothing stopping her from Andrana. Only a question like, do you labs first or do you do far for Andrana? I would, in this position, I would expect her to do far for Andrana first, but it's not impossible, but Cooper's, well, it's not quite a last location, but could be. Depends, I guess, yeah. I guess you probably do route directly to the artifact. Maybe check security access A, but
Looks like they're checking their artifact again.
yeah. Yeah, I think the main thing is just not having to go back and get X-ray is gonna get Arcanox back enough on its own. Even if they were to find Phazon naturally, which they probably won't, because
Like we might be
probably
getting a Thardus play.
artist first. Interesting. We just, I mean, it could just be a Qmon check. I still probably wouldn't have done that first, but
Rockman lives to see another day.
yeah, and you know Salad's gonna be kicking herself when she finds Cooper. But
I'm just begging for her to go to labs instead of late fen, but I could see her going to late fen.
I mean, I think like what you would naturally do in this situation is loop far fen, and then do mines, and that's what she's doing. Because otherwise, you'd have to, either trek back through labs or go through Stardust. So it just makes more sense to do far fen now. Fortunately, it's not going to work out, but I don't think it was. I don't. Ugh. I don't think it was an incorrect decision by any means.
Oh, that's good. Now they can go get their last 2 artifacts. We find Phazon
Yep.
on the way.
Yep. Nice ice spreader for your trouble. And sure, why not? You're here. Free. Grapple, so.
I need to step away for a moment. I will be back shortly.
Right? I will hold down the fort with my usually riveting commentary. I know that's what you're all here for. Yeah, based on the routing, I'm guessing Arcanox is lining for lower mines and is most likely not gonna find face on suit on their own. It's unfortunate, but I think the only thing is that Salad still has to go back for the shorelines and MPB, and that is gonna be really awkward routing. Don't know that that's enough to make up the difference for Arcanox, but at least something to keep in mind.
I have returned, and it looks like Salad is getting her supers.
Yep. That looked a little sketch, but worked out. And
I guess now it's a question of how fast can Salad get shorelines and go back for MQB.
yeah. And it looks like... Yeah, I'm really interested because this is like really, really awkward routing. Like, or a really awkward decision routing wise, because they're both really far away. They don't flow into each other. Based on this, it looks like she's heading for MQB first. Unless she was planning to do Thardis. Nope, okay. Yeah, that's what I expected. I guess, yeah, MQB first is probably not probably the decision here because you've already beaten OP, so it's not like you have to just dive into PPC. So that's pretty straightforward. It's not that bad getting back up. Yeah, this is probably the decision I think I would have gone with.
I think I'm leaning towards Salad being ahead here.
Oh yeah, I think Salad clearly has the lead here. Arcanox just has too much left to do. Between like mostly with finding phase on. Salad, it just needs one artifact and then save warp. Final boss is GG. Yeah, it's really that getting X-ray there was really unfortunate because I think that really kind of made the difference in the end. We'll see if we'll see if I had yeah, if I had found supers in labs where they were, I would definitely be asking myself when my opponent would be finishing. Understandable.
I'd say that was a pretty healthy amount of back and forth throughout this race.
It definitely took some turns. Definitely took some turns. You know, not not the way you usually expect to, but or not the way I guess I would have expected it to, but yeah, definitely, yeah, very interesting in the end. I'd guess that Arcanox probably going to get the hint before Salad finishes, but Nice snipe.
Very friendly Ridley.
Yeah, honestly. And Arcanox actually heading towards upper mines? I mean, at this point it's too little too late, but it is interesting.
Well,
Maybe
at
they
least they'll
should-
find Phazon suit before they go to Impact Crater.
Yeah, they should have all 6 artifacts. Didn't... They're missing something. No, I'm pretty sure they should have all 6. It could just be a percentage play. You know, Randovania likes to put Phazon suit in mines, so that might just be what they're thinking right now is like. Well, it's probably more than likely in mines. There isn't that much left that they haven't checked. I don't believe Arcanox checked Farfendrana. He did do Thartis if I remember correctly, so that's dead. So yeah, this could just be like percentage play because they just don't have that many other options left. Anyone has Arcanox's stream up? Can anyone confirm if they have 6 artifacts on their tracker, maybe? And so doing a little trolling, as you would expect.
Looks like their tracker does say they have 6 artifacts.
Okay. Good turnaround shot. Good snipe. And another good turnaround. Good exo so far, Salad, even though he's been a little trolly.
Looks like Salad going for both pool and attack cancels.
So it looks like Arcanox actually probably gonna get phase on suit right about as the Salad finishes. Or maybe a little, yeah, maybe a little bit earlier. I didn't see if they had already gotten the gate down. They did, so. Okay, so they'll have about a minute or so before they get the bad news. Yeah, Salad not having thermal yet, or yet. Like they're gonna go back, like she's gonna go back and get it.
Yeah, I guess in a few minutes, in like a minute, we'll see a soft reset, and they'll have to go back to Vendrana, and then come back and do Exo again.
Yeah, you believe they patched it to make it so that you need thermal? Salad, spoilers, you haven't finished yet on stream. Alright, and that is going to be GG for Salad.
GG's.
And let's check. Right as I hit go mode, LOL says Arcanox in race time chat. And it looks like they're going to finish it out. That's fair. You know, they're so close. I want to finish it. Well, yeah, I wouldn't, but I respect it.
Welcome.
Hey. Yeah,
GG?
really convinced that neither gravity nor supers could have been, and what's it called?
Labs.
Labs, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think everybody in here had a bit of a question mark moment when you turned around. But,
And then when I did it again after getting Spider.
yeah. I mean, yeah, obviously...
This could have been
everything
done
was happening,
40
but,
minutes
yeah.
earlier if I had not done that.
Yeah. It's definitely an interesting decision.
I was racking my brain, like, from the time that I found Ice Beam, I'm like, what? How was I supposed to get that? And I'm like, okay, no, so then gravity has to be in, like, the place, off of Root Cave, towards Magmore. I was like, okay, so then gravity's there.
Yeah, I can see where, yeah, thinking about the logic might have led you astray. Yeah, I think most of that stuff is in logic without Spider in these settings, but...
Yeah, I need to study the logic again because it's been a long time since I actually sat down and worked through it a lot. But yeah, that's what got me extremely lost. Where I'm like, eh, no, there can't possibly be anything in labs because
Yeah.
but then I got in a spot where I'm like, wait, but wouldn't that mean that supers and ice beam were locking each other? Or no, supers and spider ball would be locking each other. So I'm like, no, there has to be something that I'm missing. And then I'm like, okay, maybe thermal-less start of gravity-less frigate is in logic, and that could have what I'm missing. And then it didn't, and it just kind of kept spiraling from there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can definitely see where your thought process went. I think if I, you know, if I were in that position, I think I would have just powered through labs because, you know, it could still have phase on suit, you know, at that point. It could still have.
I have never had phase on suit in labs.
I definitely.
But I hear
have,
that it's been
but
happening a lot in like the tower. Apparently.
Interesting.
But yeah, I've never had it there, so it didn't even cross my mind until you mentioned it just now.
Yeah. I mean, I tend to be you know, if I'm here, I'm gonna clear as much as I can, so I don't necessarily think about
I usually do that, and that tends to end up with me wasting a lot of time on a bunch of extra checks, and this time I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make the decision not to do that, and it didn't turn out right.
Yeah. But that's how Rando goes sometimes. Sometimes you know, you make a decision, doesn't work. Doesn't mean it was the wrong decision, but
I mean, I think I think this is a situation where you can pretty solidly say that both times that I turned around instead of doing labs were mistakes. Like the wrong decision to do that.
I mean, I mean, the second time I don't necessarily blame you for dipping as soon as you got the fighter, but I think the first one is the more question mark.
Yeah.
But again, it worked out in the end.
And then I also forgot that. Oh yeah, I don't. I forgot that I can just use wave beam to get to the vanilla ice, and proceeded to get hard trolled by that bomb jump that I was doing. I kept either catching the lip but falling off or hitting the ceiling.
Yeah. We thought you were just going for the flag.
Nope, I just because more often than not when I do that I don't have wave, so I just completely forgot that I did. And usually I get it first or second try. Like that is the worst I've done at it in a long time.
Well, better to get it out of the way early.
The most interesting thing that happened is I've never seen that little door that the wave trooper was in lab or in mines before. Right above where Phazon's suit was. I have never seen that open before. Or I haven't noticed it. But I guess that's where the wave pirates come out of.
Oh, I did want to ask, what made you so determined to get the bomb jump in Hall of the Elders?
Because I forgot that I had wave beam.
So you did forget you had wave beam. I joked that you might have forgotten, but I didn't think. Because I was like, wow, she's really determined to get this bomb jump.
Yeah. And then I also, the fact that I got frustrated by the fact that I kept on almost getting it kept me from then realizing, from actually taking a moment to think and realize, I don't even need to do it here. I did have a bit of a moment where I'm like, okay, what is the fastest way to get between MQB and shorelines in this situation? I wasn't sure if it was. I was pretty sure it wasn't fighting Thardus, but I wasn't sure if warping to start, running, and going into either direction from there after getting one or the other was faster or not. But I just ended up going back down to
I think the difference
phase
between
on
those,
and running directly there.
yeah, I think the difference between those two is probably marginal. But yeah, I don't think fighting Thardus was the answer. So.
Yeah, if I practiced the way to skip fighting Thardus when going through the back, then that definitely would have been the fastest. But I'm like, I haven't practiced that since the last time I was doing 21% stuff, and
God.
that was 2 years ago. So yeah, wouldn't have been a good play to go for, I don't think. I was fairly happy with how Essence went though.
Yeah, I think
Even
overall
without the
you're-
extra hits that I had during the one invisible phase, like I would have had the 2 pool pretty well in the bag, I think.
Yeah, I think overall your final bosses were good. That Essence might be a little close to the body.
Yeah, and they're not gonna be able to hit it before it moves the first time.
Yeah. Okay, well, it moved away. Nope. Yeah. Too close.
I did get really lucky with the beam ordering on Subchamber 4.
It looked like she was trolling you a bit. At least
It did troll me a bit with that jumping between ice and plasma, but then I never had a wave phase, and I was able to skip 2 phases, which is pretty good for Subchamber 4.
Yeah. Sure.
I wonder what indicator they're using for their timing for the Essence shots. Because there are a few different ones that I know of. Like, you can look at when the eyes start to squint a little bit after a hit. You can look at where your arm has returned to. You can just try to time it. Are there any others that I'm missing?
That's a pretty short cycle for not getting the attack dances in there.
Looks like they had some trouble finding out which visor they were in at first.
Yeah. That should be... Oh, just... Okay, yeah, a little bit more. I think they needed a
Tried
few
pool
more.
canceling it looked like, but they're a little too deep into the pool.
They were up against something that was keeping them from stepping out of the pool properly. Thank you.
And Arcanox is done.
Just over 2 hours.
GG's.
Hey, what's up? Let me turn
Welcome
down
in.
the audio.
Welcome in. How do you feel?
I felt like it went all right. Obviously, I'm sure everyone noticed at the start I had a little bit of emulator trouble, so that got me off to a rough start, and it was evident.
Oh, no.
With, like, ship dash failing 3 times in a row, but I felt like I kind of got in a groove until I needed to find a way into mines, and then I was like, it's either gravity suit or spider ball, and I didn't have either. I definitely got lucky on Phazon suit being where it was. So I almost worked to start, and I'm like, you know what? It's probably on the way to lower mines from upper. And sure enough.
Did you forget that X-ray was in Ruined Fountain?
Yeah,
We
I
saw
just
you pass
completely
by it,
forgot.
and we were like, "Uh-oh." Yeah, we kind of figured
Yep,
because we were like, "Uh-oh."
and I
that's not
knew,
good."
like, literally the moment I stepped on the elevator out of ruins again, I'm like, oh my god, I forgot it. And at that point, I'm like, I'll just go back and get it later.
Yeah. That was a bit unfortunate.
Yeah, definitely. I think that wasted at least like 5 minutes having to go back for that.
Yeah.
It happens. It's happened to me a couple times even.
Oh yeah. My first tournament, I forgot to get the 6th artifact.
Oh no.
Yep. So that was
Yeah, I
fun.
definitely I could have like optimized that a lot better. At the start I was really nervous that there was going to be something important like early on, so I did Flagra when I really didn't need to, and like logic didn't really suggest it, but I didn't want to miss it just in case.
Well, you weren't alone. Salad went back from Fendrana to do Flagra.
Mm.
I think overall your routing was honestly fine. Just that one mistake is what really cost you.
Mm-hmm. Salad, did you fight Thardis?
No, I didn't.
I don't know what was on. Probably an E-tank. There weren't a whole lot of E-tanks on the route. Like, I did a practice seed yesterday, and it gave me like 12 E-tanks at the start of the seed.
Yeah, I mean that's just the way it goes sometimes. Sometimes Randy is really generous, and sometimes it's very stingy. Just gotta figure out what you're comfortable with as far as E-tanks is, and decide, whether you want to look for more or whatnot.
Did anybody catch when I was like going to beeline to mines through the back of Magmor, and I was in like the middle, and like near workstation or monitor station or whatever, and I didn't realize that I had like 50 health left, and I only realized that once I boosted through the lava on the way to the elevator and had 2 energy left out of there.
But yeah.
So I really
yeah.
quick had to just change routes. I'm like, I'm not gonna risk the R jump in.
Okay, yeah, that was the one thing. Like I figured what you were going for after you had to pivot. But that was also a bit unfortunate, especially since it didn't end up leading to anything.
Yeah, like if I had made it to mines through the back of Magmor that early, I would have found, or I can't remember if I was going to do mines or back fen, but like back fen had so many items in it. It's at labs, and I would have found those like way earlier, and it probably could have steered me like closer to the logic route. But, oh well.
Well, all right then. Runners, do you have any final thoughts?
No, not really.
Okay.
Uh,
Oh, looks like. Make
wish
sure,
I hadn't made the one decision, but what can you do?
no,
What
you
was
won.
your?
So
You posted in the race time chat. Something was a big waste of time. Was that it?
Yeah, it
What
was me
was it?
skipping labs.
Oh no. I
Yeah,
didn't.
my last items were that I picked up other than artifacts were supers and gravity.
Oh dear. So you didn't go back and get main PBs either then? You were just working on
No, I never
expansions.
touched main PBs. I just went with the 2 expansions that I stumbled across.
Mm-hmm. That was so funny, like PBs being there, you can tell it took me a second to notice the glow coming out of the tree. But like having supers so far away from that.
all right. Well, GG's again to Salad. Good luck on your 3 races on Saturday.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I will try to survive it.
Yeah. Make sure to follow both of our runners. Follow my co-commentator. She's also participating in the tournament. And for Tracker, bruh, thanks as always. Love trackers. Can't get enough of trackers. And
Thanks, and thank you to the commentators for commentating.
Thank you for racing.
Yeah. And thank you, Silent, for racing. That was fun. And good luck
Yeah, it was a fun
on
race.
Saturday.
GG.
all right. See you next mission.
See you next mission.
See you next
Bye
time.
bye.